Friday edition ahead of preseason game number 2, Mr. Relevant, presented by Door County Distillery, with you here from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Studios. I'm Alex Strouf. Joshie DiMaggio here with me as well. The groundhog, producer Tiny Hands, Hunter Vaughn, back at the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Couple things to get to here in Green Bay Packer land as joint practice with the Denver Broncos is underway. We're minutes removed from a scuffle out in Denver between the Broncos and the Packers. No fists were thrown, but there were a little scuffle as Nick Bonito, the linebacker for the Broncos, beat Rasheed Walker for what would have been a sack, but he hit Jordan Love's throwing arm when he got there, and the O-line got after Bonito, and you had a couple of O linemen and D linemen getting after it. Matt LaFleur, I guess, yelling at Nick Bonito, the Broncos, for hitting Jordan Love's arm. So that's the only big one. We do have a correspondent on the ground, a fan of ESPN Wisconsin. Dan from Denver is at the joint practice. He just texted in a minute ago, another fight during special teams. So we will continue to keep an eye on everything going on at the joint practice between the Packers and the Broncos. Here from Dave Schrader of WBAY in Green Bay, who's out there. Broncos Devin Key and Packers long snapper Matt Orzech mix it up after a special team drill. Still not a full-out fight. So we've got some rumbling going on out in Denver between the Broncos and the Packers. But as we talked about a bit Wednesday, Matt LaFleur taking the same approach and has for past years as the New England Patriots and head coach Gerard Mayo. If you're a starter and you get into a fight, you're playing in the preseason game on Sunday. If you're a backup and you get into a fight during the joint practice, you are not playing in the preseason game on Sunday. So we'll keep an eye on everything going on in regards to the joint practice out in Denver as that rolls on ahead of game 2 of the preseason for the Packers as they take on the Broncos. Hunter, go ahead.
Yeah, we talked about this on Wednesday too, but the whole fighting in these preseason practices, these joint practices and that, like, I don't get it. Like, what? Why are we throwing, like, you're the long snapper. Like, what do you need to be throwing hands
I like
for?
that.
Like,
I like that.
It's dumb. It's really dumb. These were supposed to be
hands.
to, like...
They're not throwing hands. I just said that. There's been no punches thrown.
They're getting close enough that it's stupid. It's dumb. I don't get it. I don't understand football players. They're just weird.
Oh, you made Joshie walk out. Joshie's not even groundhogging. He just walked out.
Oh.
No, I mean, it's as simple as this, right? It's watching, you're finally facing somebody that's not you. So, of course, flares are going to fly a little bit, but I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, Orzech here from Matt Schneidman of The Athletic. Orzech needed to be pulled away from starting a scuffle during a punt drill and just snapped it way over Daniel Whelan, the punter of the Packers' head, out of the back of the end zone on the very next play. So not great for Matt Orzech. But we will keep an eye on joint practice happenings. But this is the game reps, as I'm imagining. They will get the team drills and full-blown 11-on-11 here in a bit. They've done a little bit of 7-on-7. They have not done a ton of 11-on-11 yet. Bo Nix and Zach Wilson, both 7 for 7 in the 7-on-7 drills. So the Packers defense getting smoked a little bit by Zach Wilson and Bo Nix. But this is the game reps for the Packers starters, as Jordan Love, amongst many other starters, will not play Sunday in preseason game number 2. Now, I don't know that Jordan Love's done anything quite yet. Things just got started about an hour ago. But we will keep an eye on that. Broncos defense taking care of Love here so far, but like I said, still early and still some more stuff to come. Peyton Manning on site, by the way, at the Broncos Packers joint practice. Good for Peyton getting out there to his former team where he won his final Super Bowl with. So there you go. All right. Well, that's what we got right now, but we'll continue to go back. Actually, hold on. Now we have more information from the first mini scuffle, is what Matt Schneidman of The Athletic is dubbing it. Adam Stenavich, the offensive coordinator, and Matt LaFleur, the head coach, were caught in the middle. I like that. But yeah, I'm curious. I mean, you can't hit the quarterback. I mean, that is like the one rule for these joint practices. So I imagine if that happens again, that'll be it for practice, and we'll have a little bit of a, chippy game coming up on Sunday. So here we go. There we go. No love Sunday, no starters Sunday, as the Packers prepare for game number 2 in the preseason against the Denver Broncos. And this is a game for evaluation. And I imagine at some point, in the NFL calendar and in the NFL life here in the next couple of years, we will get to a point where we have an 18-game regular season and we go down to just 2 preseason games, where one is going to be, meant for reps for starters and some of those main guys, and then the other will be the evaluation period for the fringe guys, is what I imagine the preseason will be here in a few years when the NFL inevitably goes to an 18-game schedule, right? Maximize your earnings, maximize the TV ratings, maximize the TV deals. The TV networks are going to want to show 18 regular season games. It's just a matter of time before we get there. So I would imagine in just a couple of years, we'll be down to 2 preseason games, where you would look at it like we are right now, right? Week 1, Jordan Love plays, 1 series. It's a 65-yard touchdown pass. He's done for the preseason. Game 2 is all about the backups, the fringe guys, the special teamsers, guys that can earn a roster spot by playing well in that second preseason game. I'm curious to see, and we hypothesized, I guess we could say, a little bit on Wednesday's show, what preseason game 3 will look like. Right, like, will there be a Jordan Love appearance against the Ravens next week? Although they do also have a joint practice next week against the Ravens next week, Thursday. I'm curious to see how that plays out. But as of now, no word on what will happen in the third preseason game. If Jordan Love will get some additional reps, if looking across the O-line and the defense, will some of the veterans get some extra reps in a preseason game next week against the Ravens? Time will tell. We will see on that. But game 2 is Sunday between the Broncos and the Packers. I'm a little irritated. It's a Sunday night game. Sunday night, 7:00 kick. I don't get it. It's a preseason game. Look, it's not Sunday Night Football. You're watching Sean Clifford and Michael Pratt compete. Why didn't we do this at like 2 p.m? I don't get that.
Because
there's this time slot for this game.
What else is there on TV on Sunday night? Genuinely, other than maybe there's some Sunday night baseball. You have nothing else. So if you're the NFL Network, throw on an NFL preseason game with a team like the Packers that will draw people in, and you at least get something when it comes to ratings that time. So why not do it?
No, I mean, I agree. I understand their point of it. I guess I'm just a normal guy who's going to want to go to bed before the game's over.
Well, it is 2024. You can record the game. You could watch it in the morning. And,
Hunter,
if you have an early bedtime, it's okay. You'll be okay.
Hunter. You know I'm not doing that. You know I'm going to watch it live. You know I'm going to stay up. I'm probably going to watch it in bed. But
and then
it's
cry
still
about how
irritating.
late you were up? That's weird.
Joshy, can you just speak on Hunter's behalf going forward? I'm already sick of him. We're 10 minutes in.
He's feeling a little irritated today. You all good over there, brother?
Yeah, what's going on?
No, I'm good. I'm just it's weird to complain about the start time of a preseason game. It's 7:00. That is a normal start time for a night
7
game.
7 o'clock Sunday game is
sport.
weird, yes?
No, it makes sense to me why it's happening. I mean, I wouldn't want to complain about it, especially since you're not going to be paying attention anything past the first half.
That's not true.
I mean, you can. You're not going to get on Mr. Irrelevant tomorrow on Monday and be like,
Kadeem Telfort looked really good at right tackle in the fourth quarter.
If you're talking about the guys playing in the fourth quarter of the second preseason game, you're doing this whole content thing wrong.
Well, what the hell else am I supposed to talk about? Nobody's playing.
A lot of life happens. There's a lot of stuff going on in those first 2 quarters, baby.
Yeah. Why do you have the door open back there? Usually a door closed guy.
It was getting a little stuffy in here.
Oh, okay. I got you. I just see movement happening behind you there.
I can hear it too.
Yeah, no, it's distracting the heck out of me. So we have
and you're easily
on
distracted.
Josh's camera, but there is a storage hallway directly behind Joshy's door, and people are going in and out because we've got events going on. So I'm seeing a lot of movement back there. But anyway, David on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube page, getting off to a feisty start here on Mr. Irrelevant. Strouf and tiny hands, a lot like the joint practice.
Yeah.
He's got a point there.
Yeah. Hunter feels a little agitated from other players getting agitated. It's agitated him.
We are in an agitated off.
Uh-huh.
Agitated squared. Agitated its inception. Okay, say that 5 times fast. Agitated inception. Yeah. Anyway, so oh no, Jordan Love is getting pressured fast. Chase Daniel just tweeted, Broncos defense getting after the Packers. Jordan Love having to get the ball out quick, and Broncos defense rallying to the ball. Energy is high out there. That's not like the most encouraging sign, to be real honest with you. Joshy, let's play a game. Name a Broncos defender.
Patrick Surtain.
Name a second.
They acquired they have an edge rusher.
Yeah, okay, yeah, they do. They probably have a few of them, in fact. Name one of them.
I got nothing.
Randy Gregory from Nebraska, former Cowboy.
So say that sounds like a Cowboys player to me.
He's on the Broncos still?
I'm pretty sure he might be suspended. He has some issues.
He's good at that. Yeah, he's good at that. Randy Gregory plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Try again.
Oh, whoops.
That's my point. You're now looking. I can see you looking at a computer.
I know. I wanted to name. I don't recognize.
I'm trying to make the point that if the Packers offense is struggling against the Broncos defense, despite Vance Joseph being their defensive coordinator, a great defensive mind, that's not like the most encouraging sign for an offense that's struggled against their own defense so far in training camp. I'm part of the group and crew that has very high expectations for this Packers offense this year. But they've struggled against their own defense in training camp thus far. And now here in a joint practice, in a week where they will not play in a preseason game, their first team offense, and they're struggling against the defense where the three of us could come up with one name on their defense. And now Josh is staring at the depth chart for the Broncos, and I think he still doesn't know a second name.
Riley Moss, staring at all of the names. Hawkeye.
You're cheating, too. You didn't know that.
Once I saw him on the roster, I knew it. I remembered, but...
Okay, well, that's not my point, though, Hunter. You're ruining the exercise.
Jeez.
I'm gonna Matt Orzek you if you keep talking like this.
You understand I control the camera and the mic, so.
My point is, goodness gracious, Hunter. Joshy, what are we going to do about this?
We've got some insubordination happening over there in Madison. The Everlight Solar Studios.
I got a full-time role. I'm feeling real bold now.
It was. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Hey, Strouf, I know it's your show and all, but goodness gracious. This is not a good sign, I guess is my point here. Goodness. Animosity is high. Jeez. This is not a good sign for the Packers defense. David on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat. Stay the course, Strouf. If you play like this week one, he's actually talking about the Packers. If they play like this week one, then you can get genuinely concerned. Yeah, no, I agree. But it's still something to look at, though, right? Like, we can't just ignore the fact the offense has struggled. Now, you could, of course, say, hey, Strouf, how'd they do in 3 plays against the Browns? Pretty darn good. 65-yard touchdown ain't bad. But there's something to having a rhythm and, having your chemistry up and looking like a cohesive unit in joint practice, in training camp. And so far, that just hasn't been the case.
I do think it's interesting thus far. We've seen the Packers struggle in training camp against their own ones on the defense, and now when they go play someone else, other than the 3 plays against the Cleveland Browns, who weren't playing their starters, they seem to be struggling. I also feel like last season when Jordan Love was at his best, it was like you felt like some of the drives were improbable, where like he just gets in a bad situation and rips off a giant, third down pass, and next thing you know, the Packers are in scoring position, and that's like I just kind of think they're one of those teams. It's like they just take chunk plays, kind of back themselves into corners more than they need to, and then wiggle their way out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Just a quick update here from joint practice from Mike Spofford, Packers.com. Red zone touchdown. After 2 passes broken up by the aforementioned Riley Moss and Jaquan McMillan. Jordan Love throws a touchdown pass to Luke Musgrave in the red zone. So that's good. Hey, I'm looking at video now, and Hunter, I don't know if maybe you, don't worry about it. It's actually not as exciting as I thought it was. It was Jordan Love's arm getting hit, and then just a couple people shoved and pushed after the play. So nothing crazy. No punches being thrown, which is good.
I do want to point out one thing from Matt Schneidman's notes here.
Here we
We're
go.
talking about the 11-on-11 period.
Uh-oh. Good or bad? Good or bad?
Love hit Wicks for a nice game. Got the right side on first pass. Clifford big completion to Heath, wiped out by false start. Love hits Musgrave. Pratt short hops. Patrick Surtain pass breakup on Dobbs on a comebacker. That's why you need Wicks out there.
You're gonna die on this hill.
You know, when the Pro Bowler starts showing up, Romeo Dobbs don't look so good.
It's true. It's true. Stop it. Romeo Dobbs is a good receiver. You don't have to prop Dontavian Wicks up by taking Romeo Dobbs out. You do understand that.
Yeah, he's a good third wide receiver, Romeo Dobbs.
All right. We come back, I give you 3 things to look for in preseason game number 2. First, got to tell you about Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, and award-winning spirits. Made locally in beautiful Door County. It's almost bourbon season, in my opinion. Door County Distillery bourbon, delicious, good price, made local. Cherry bourbon, sold exclusively at Door County Distillery in Carlsville. If you're soaking up the last few weekends of summer up in Door County, make sure you stop by, do the tours, do the tastings. Otherwise, available at the retailer nearest you. Gins, vodkas, brandies, whiskeys. Amazing stuff. DoorCountyDistillery.com is the website. All right, here's what I want to do. I want everybody to take a really deep breath during our 60-second break. We're going to come back, animosity gone, our chemistry is going to be higher. We're going to look like the Packers offense in 3 plays against the Browns defense last week when we come back. I give you 3 things to look for in preseason game number 2. Joshy, Hunter, pull it together. That's next. It's Mr. Irrelevant. I'm Alex Strouf. Back in Carlsville at the legendary Door County Distillery with my buddy Rob from Door County Distillery, and we have a Door County Distillery exclusive in front of us right now, Rob. Cherries, bourbon, 2 of my favorite things. Put them together. You got Door County Distillery beautiful. Cherry bourbon. It's beautiful. We're just doing shots?
Yeah, we're just going to try it
celebrate.
straight up. I mean, it is good for mixed drinks. You can put it in old fashions, Manhattans, but sometimes you just want to straight up take a little shot of it.
I won't complain about that. Like I said, 2 of my favorite things. Cherries, bourbon, Door County cherries, bourbon. I can't complain. Yeah. Cheers to you, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Toast.
Ooh, that's tasty. Oh, that's good.
Yep.
That's really smooth.
Get that cherry flavor. Yep. Not a whole lot of burn. Beautiful.
That's terrific. Door County Distillery exclusive, the cherry bourbon. Check out their website with a huge list of unique cocktail recipes at DoorCountyDistillery.com. That's DoorCountyDistillery.com. Prost. That's what he says there. I always thought he said toast, but now I'm realizing he's saying Prost, which I believe is cheers in German. Joshy, you're laughing at me. What does it mean?
I believe it does mean cheers. I can't believe you hadn't come across that, nor had you really heard that. You were there. And now we've replayed it various amounts of times as a commercial.
Well, I definitely didn't catch it when I was there.
You know, I've thought about that too, because do you respond to him and say toast?
No, I don't say anything.
Okay. Or cheers?
I think I say cheers and then he says Prost.
Gotcha.
Are you a Prost guy?
No.
Cheers?
Nah.
Were you weren't a part of the show when we had the discussion of the worst email send off, like worst thing to sign your email with? I think we landed it was warm regards.
Best.
Best isn't too bad. That might have been part of the poll though. I was always a cheers guy. I don't do it anymore though.
Yeah, that's juvenile. I just say thanks every time. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, but that's so casual. Yeah, we pulled this back on February 1st. What is the worst way to sign an email? I'm guilty of at least one of these. We had over 300 votes. 48% of the vote went to warm regards. 22% of the vote went to cheers, which made me stop doing it. 19% went to best. And then 10% went to sincerely.
Sincerely feels like it has to be accompanied by a handwritten letter.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get the Cheers hate, though.
It comes off
is
as
it
a
just
little
douchey?
pretentious. Yeah.
Pretentious?
Attention. Oh, I thought it was.
I think a
I
little.
thought
I
it
was
was the
thinking
opposite.
more-
I thought it was lowbrow.
Lowbrow, yeah. That's where I was operating,
Oh.
too. Pretentious for Cheers.
I don't know. It felt like, or I
Do you
guess
think
it
I'm
feels like
raising
you're
like
trying
a-
to be like classier than what you are. So that's on
I'm
brand
like
for you.
sipping on a Door County Distillery Manhattan and rifling off work emails. Cheers.
Yeah.
From my rooftop bar, 90 floors above the city. Yeah, that's fair. All right, 3 things to look for in the Packers' second preseason game against the Denver Broncos coming up on Sunday. What a show we have had, man. Me and Joshy have been in this building. Well, you got here earlier than I did. I got here at 6:30. What time did you get here?
5.
You get here that early?
Yeah.
Why?
Big program rerun from 7 to 9.
Yeah, it was a good time filling in on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy with Mark Chimura and Joshy. I thought it went all right.
Well, yeah.
We
Had some good reviews.
Oh, did we?
Well, he was on the show at the end of the show.
Oh, Ashton
Tell us.
Rotman, the
Yeah.
executive producer that came on and said, you guys are doing great. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I hate when suits interrupt shows. I told him this. It's like you're inserting yourself to give us props.
Yeah. How about you?
How about
send
you
me
just
a
let
little
us do the
bonus?
thing? Yeah, give me more money then. You know? It's like
the bank account, bastard.
everybody sees the meme, right? Like, oh my goodness, the team did so great. Here's a pizza party. Like that's what that felt like from Ashton Rotman.
Yeah,
man.
we got less. We got a verbal like pat on the back.
He came in here and just said, "Hey, I wanted to tell you guys are doing great." Okay, thanks. What are you doing for us right now? This is how we're ending the show? So you want to end the week? Great job. Thanks. See ya. Anyway, all right, 3 things to look for in the Broncos-Packers preseason game, specifically for the Packers, coming up on Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central Time kickoff out in Denver. Thing to watch, number 1, running back battle. That's a layup. A.J. Dillon better play. Emmanuel Wilson is gonna get a lot of reps. I don't think we're seeing Josh. Well, we won't see Josh Jacobs, and I would imagine we're not seeing Marshawn Lloyd either. So it's down to A.J. Dillon and Emmanuel Wilson. Who will emerge as the third back that will make this roster? We've talked plenty this week about A.J. Dillon and his 98% rating in the preseason opener and telling Twitter trolls they can't do what he does. A.J. averaged half a yard a carry in preseason opener last week. Can he up that number? And Emmanuel Wilson stole the show on Saturday. Can he do it again Sunday against the Broncos? Running backs that play is one thing to watch on Sunday. Thing to watch number 2 on Sunday for the Packers as they take on the Denver Broncos is the safety rotation. Will the rookies play? I really hope so. Javon Bullard, Evan Williams. Joshy earlier in the week said, hey, I don't need to see any more of them. I disagree. I do. I think the more reps, the better in the preseason, especially for those guys that are going to play a significant role in the regular season. So specifically those two, Evan Williams and Javon Bullard, would like to see them out there on Sunday. Would also like to see more Anthony Johnson Jr., who started some games last year, was the 7th-round pick out of Iowa State. I'm intrigued to see what he brings. So I hope to see all 3 of those guys in the first half of Sunday's game and to see how they start. Will it be Bullard? I would imagine we'll see Bullard out there if he plays to start alongside Williams, or will it be Bullard and Johnson? Or will it be Johnson and Williams, given the preseason debut that Evan Williams had? Has he solidified himself maybe as the front runner for that second safety position opposite Xavier McKinney? So the safety position is one I've got my eyes on coming up on Sunday. The last one is kind of a layup. It's the kicker battle. We'll do stock up, stock down again on Monday, but this past week, I had several comments come in saying, Strouf, Anders Carlson's stock is up? What are you talking about? Yeah, his stock was up after the preseason opener. He made all of his kicks. If you told me every game Anders Carlson is going to make all of his kicks, I'm taking that. I don't care if it's pretty. Just make them. And he did on Saturday. He hasn't this week in training camp. but he did on Saturday. So Greg Joseph, Anders Carlson, and we likely will see Alex Hale mixed in there as well on Sunday. 3 kickers suiting up for the Packers. Will all 3 play? Will all 3 get opportunities non-extra point-wise? That's the third battle you have to keep an eye on. And technically you're seeing your starters still. So that would be the other battle I've got my eye on as well. So just to recap, running back battle, number 1. Number 2, safety battle. Number 3, kicker battle in the third preseason game. Hunter, I think those are the 3 main ones, right? I mean, obviously we could talk offensive line depth because they're only going to keep 8 on the roster. It seems like Jacob Monk has kind of solidified himself as the interior guy along with Sean Ryan. And then tackle is still up in the air, maybe an Andre Dillard. But overall, I mean, I feel like those are really the 3 to watch. Of course, the quarterback battle, who will win the backup quarterback job, but I still think it's too early to crown a winner there. So those would be the 3 battles I've got my eyes on.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I threw the picture of Bo Nix on here just from the sense of if he plays for Denver, and I haven't looked at if he will or not, like how does this defense make him look like a rookie quarterback? Because like he looked really good against the Colts, and I think that'll be a good sign of like, is this defense really going in the direction we think it is as an entire unit? Yeah. Because if he goes out there and plays really well, then I start to like get a little bit concerned about what this defense is, because they should be able to make him look like a rookie quarterback now that they have film on him from that first preseason game. So I think that's a really important thing given the quarterbacks this team is going to see this year.
No, you're right, but you're not going to have any starters out there. So I don't know how consequential what the Packers defense. Like, I get your point, right?
It's
He's
like a
rookie
schematic
quarterback.
thing.
He's still
like the way the entire unit attacks a quarterback.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. And I think, you know, Bo Nix, look, I've got nothing against the Broncos. I've got nothing against Bo Nix. To be real honest with you, I kind of hope he succeeds. But Sunday, yeah, you want to make him look a little rattled, because I don't anticipate we'll see a ton of Bo Nix, maybe a quarter. I think it'll be mostly the Zach Wilson show as Bo Nix continues to amplify the fact he likely will be the week 1 starter for Denver. I don't know. I think whatever they do, show some confidence in the scheme, to your point. Get after them. And the 2 things that Jeff Hafley has continued to emphasize, and I always say you get what you emphasize, turnovers, so make him force bad throws, and get after him. Beat the O-line. Get to Bo Nix. Rattle him a little bit. And hopefully those things happen, whether it's Kingsley and Igbare out there, whoever's playing. I imagine we won't see Preston Smith. Lucas Van Ness is a name. Josh, you seemed intrigued by the question.
No. I was just thinking about Bo Nix.
Oh, my goodness. What the hell happened today? What you put on?
Frankly, I didn't know the question because we had people coming in here that were talking to me about being a producer.
Oh, cool.
One of our wonderful MCs was giving a tour.
Yeah.
I heard you talking about Bo Nix, and all I was thinking about was the amount I've bought him on Underdog. So a lot of best ball teams with Bo Nix.
I go, Josh, you got thoughts on the question? No.
Don't know what you even asked.
No.
So
And
you
you're
didn't
just
want
saying
to
hi
look
to
at the
people.
That's
screen?
Shondell. I went to college with him. Dude, Shondell just walked up to the window. Shondell, he's a priest now. Crazy.
Oh my
I sat next to him. I sat next to him at college graduation. Our last names are very close to each other. That was crazy. I haven't seen him in years.
Can we reel it back
What's going
in?
on today? No. I can't believe what is happening today.
This is ridiculous. But Josh, you didn't want to look at the screen and literally see what we're talking about. It's like I put that on there so people know.
Yeah, but it's so general. It just says 3 things to watch.
On Sunday
I
night
didn't
when the
invent that.
Packers play, when we literally said the Packers played and would led the show talking about the kickoff time.
He
Like,
asked me
come
about
on.
a specific. He said, "You seem intrigued by the question." I still don't know what the question is.
Is there anything
done.
that you're watching for on Sunday?
No, we're done. We're done. We're done. All right.
I'm watching Sean Ryan. He's going to be gassed up there. It's a mile high. There's not a lot of oxygen up there. Said he needs to work on his conditioning. Be in better shape. Can the big fella make it happen? It's a nice little program we put together here today.
Ow. Wow, David, this is a classic example of three guys who need to go to the bar after the show. Damn straight.
Yep.
I'll be boozing tonight.
I will be too. I'm going to the Brewers game tonight. Looking forward to that. Wow.
Why don't we just bring back some of the stuff we talked about in Jen, Gabe, and Chewy?
Rapid fire, go.
Hunter, have you ever fast forwarded to the end of a movie or a TV show to make sure the ending was something you were satisfied with?
No, that's insane.
Have you ever skipped ahead in a book?
No, absolutely not. I don't really read.
Chewy's currently
Chewy is currently watching a show called The Americans, and it is about the Russians back in the Reagan era.
Yeah.
Essentially invading the U.S. as spies, and they try to infiltrate essentially the CIA and FBI. He's 3 seasons in of a 6-season show, and he says unless the Russians wind up dead, he doesn't want to watch the rest. So he's getting really pissed off with it. So he's going to the end. I actually do have other things I want to hit, but this was a fascinating conversation.
I didn't have the heart to tell him that the FBI and CIA have both done things that have made themselves look like idiots. So his whole premise of he's making them all look really dumb, and it's like, well,
I don't know if it's those people making them look dumb.
What else did we talk about? Trees in the middle of cornfields. Yeah, we're not getting into that.
Yeah, have you ever thought about that when you drive past a cornfield? Why is there sometimes just a tree in the middle of the field amongst all the rows of corn?
I just think about that there used to be a forest there. And then and then I think about the deforestation of our planet. Kind of makes me a little depressed, actually.
Reasonable thought. Chewy postulates and claims that it's...
Wow. Hold on a minute. What was that word?
He can't be dropping those big words. Not on this show.
Postulates.
Well, his theory is that the farmers used it for shade, which he had one person defend him on, so...
Crazy.
Oh, you ever heard of banana apples? Banana-flavored apples?
What? No, that's not real.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
It's a real thing.
It's real. I didn't think so either,
Wow.
Hunter. I was Team U up until I was proven wrong. All right, Mike Clay over at ESPN.com ranks every position group for every team in the NFL. Whoa. And the Packers, kind of the middle of the pack for everything, including quarterback. I think they were 12th, and wide receivers, they were middle of the pack. Hunter, you had the list. The wide receiver one is the one that intrigued me the most. Where did they end up ranking?
Yeah, for the wide receivers, they were 19. So just to kind of put some teams around them, they had Detroit at 21, Cleveland at 20, Vegas was 18, Indy was 17. So not a great spot for a receiver core we've talked a lot about and thought very highly of. So, I'm wondering, are we overvaluing them? Maybe?
Yeah, no, not necessarily. I think there's just so much unproven there. And we talked about it a little bit earlier in the week, or maybe we ended up skipping Orlovsky's rankings. Dan Orlovsky on SportsCenter said the Packers were number 1 in the NFC North, Vikings 2, Bears 3, and Lions 4. I think I ranked them almost the exact opposite, right? I had the Packers last because there's just so much unproven. Now, in comparison to a lot of the rest of the league, there's way more depth for the Packers than there are other teams, right? Bo Melton is your 5th receiver, or 6th receiver maybe after Grant Dubosa's game on Saturday. And he's probably a wide receiver 3 on most teams. But I think the Packers have a lot of wide receiver 2s. They don't really have a true one, which, again, you could make the argument is their superpower. So for them to fall in the middle of the league, I'm not mad about, right? I imagine the Vikings are higher with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. I imagine the Lions are higher with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams because you have 2 really crucial pieces that are really, really good. The Browns, Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy, right? Like the Dolphins, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. So there are teams that have 2 or 3 really good receivers, where the Packers have 5 or 6, good receivers. And it's just a matter of, okay, do you value a true one or do you value depth? So in Mike Clay's opinion, the depth is good and it makes them a good receiving core. Are we overvaluing them? I don't think so. I think we're going to see a lot of games where one guy's going to feast, and then next week it's going to be somebody completely different, and so on and so forth, the remainder or throughout the entire year. I don't know that somebody will necessarily emerge as a one. I think you will have a statistical leader who maybe you do view as your one. If Christian Watson stays healthy, if Jaden Reed continues to evolve, if Dontavian Wicks is everything that Josh claims he can be, right? You might have a guy that leads the statistical categories and maybe views or looks like he could evolve into a Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, true number one type. So we'll see. But I don't think no. I think the answer is no. We're not overvaluing them. But it's just a matter of how you prioritize depth. Is being deeper better, or is being top heavy better? I think you could make the argument both ways. So no, I don't read into that. But interesting piece from Mike Clay over at ESPN.com. If you have an ESPN Plus subscription, highly recommend reading that and seeing where he thinks the Packers stack up at each positional group in the league. A piece of Brewers news: Christian Yelich's season is done. They were looking to avoid that as he will get season-ending back surgery. Been on the IL for more than a couple weeks at this point, about a month now. But Christian Yelich, unable to rehab the back, will get season-ending back surgery as the Brewers split with the Dodgers. Crucial split here, winning the final 2 of 4-game series, and saying, hey, we're still alive in the NL. We could still be the second-best record in the National League. Obviously, this affects the Brewers' postseason hopes, championship aspirations. When you lose a guy who was once again playing like the Christian Yelich of old, he was playing really good baseball offensively in 2024, something we haven't seen from him in a few years. But no Yelich. So you rely on the youth. You rely on the Jackson Chourio, who's an absolute superstar. You rely on the Sal Freliks. You rely on the Bryce Terangs and the Joey Ortizes and the Contrerases of the world. And you just hope that's enough. Rhys Hoskins has been playing better offensively. Your worries still remain. Can these arms get you wins in the postseason? I'm not super confident, but as we saw last year with the Rangers and the Diamondbacks, all you got to do is get hot at the right time. And if the Brewers pitching staff can get hot at the right time, they can certainly compete with the Dodgers. You just saw it the last few days at AmFam Field. You hope they can compete with a team like the Phillies. But this certainly doesn't help the championship hopes as Christian Yelich is out for the year.
You know, if this news would have come out a week ago, I would have been much more concerned. But after these last 2 games against the Dodgers, I'm feeling really confident in this team. Because those games, I was at the game Wednesday night and then watching the game yesterday, like those had a little bit of a playoff feel to them, especially with the way that one team gets a lead, then the Brewers bounce back, and then, you know, you're just getting those single run innings to be able to just scratch away a win. And I feel really good about this team, and I think Yelich will still be around these young guys to help them when it comes to the clubhouse things and handling late season baseball and the pressure that comes with this. My bar has been raised with this team, and I really think that they can make a push to championship series.
Wow.
Like, so, I think they could beat the Dodgers in a 5-game series. Because of the pitching like the bullpen that they have. I think that they can do it.
Okay, so bullpen, I agree. But 5-game series, the starting arms don't worry you at all? Like Colin Ray didn't look like Colin Ray the other day.
No, he didn't, but he also had an extra 2 days off that really kind of threw that off for him, I think.
He's a rhythm guy.
Yeah. So, like, that's just, I think that was a part of his, like, rough outing with that. But I think these starting pitchers, I think Pat Murphy's going to go the, like, opener route in the playoffs. And for a 5-game series, like, and they're only, 2 games back of the Dodgers right now. Like, they can catch them and they get
Not
home
even,
field.
I don't think. Yeah.
I mean, they're half game.
Half game. Yeah.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they won 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but with the 2 losses, I wasn't exactly sure. I hadn't looked at the standings for that. So, like,
It's exactly what it was before the series started now.
yeah. So I think that they can, given the division they play in, the Dodgers are going to have more tough games late, that they're going to have to use other guys more often compared to what this NL Central is. I think the Brewers can do it. They get home field, and I think that crowd can help push them to winning a division series against LA.
Okay. The hopes are high for Hunter. Now, for a guy that's typically a doomsday sports fan, let's just look at the reaction recently. Wisconsin over Alabama, week 3. Brewers over the Dodgers in the NLDS. Any other predictions I'm missing? Those are the 2 big ones recently.
Yeah, those are the 2 big ones.
Mr. Doomsday, you're feeling pretty good about your sports teams right now.
Yeah, we just won't talk about the Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that. So, Christian Yelich out for the year. Kind of what we anticipated, but still disappointing news nonetheless. All right, time to wrap up the show as we always do. You learn something new every day before we head into the weekend. It is time now for What We Learned. Josh, you got anything today?
Not in particular.
I would have preferred you just to say no. Hunter, go ahead.
I want to preface this by saying that I love my nieces, but kids are gross.
Uh-oh.
Heard a story from my sister.
What happened here?
Heard a story from my sister that they got a new couch, and as it was getting delivered, they were taking the old couch, and just found a bit of a mess underneath the couch from one of them having been sick, and they didn't realize that it kind of fell down in there onto the carpet. And getting a text message description of that was not great. I'm like, I'm okay with Sarah and I being dinks right now. It's kind of a nice life. So
I love the dink term.
It's
double
so
income,
good.
No kids. For those of you unfamiliar, it's a great term.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, I just think of idiots when I think of dinks usually.
Well, you're a DeWig. Double income with dog. No, DeWid. DeWid.
Yeah, let me tell you, that dog
Almost got there.
Those aren't cheap. Doggies aren't cheap.
that son of a gun sent me back so much money.
How bad?
Emergency vet, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
What happened to the dog?
He had an allergic reaction to chicken.
Oh.
He's allergic to chicken. So until we were able to suss out what was causing his eyes to swell up, we had to, because it happened both times overnight and then once on the weekend.
Emergency vet.
You just can't go to the vet. They're not just like, hey, come on in, because they're not there. So yeah, he has a chicken allergy. So
All right.
he eats fish food.
All right. Good to know. Good to know. Do not get him a chicken bone.
No.
Chicken treats. Got it. Noted. All right. What I learned, I learned 2 things all within the same breath. Number 1, I'm judgmental. But number 2, I'm angry that Nick Cage is playing John Madden in a biopic. For those of you that have listened to me for a long time, you know this. And for those of you that haven't, I have a grudge for no reason against Nick Cage. I've never really enjoyed a movie he's been in. National Treasure was good, but I'm just kind of anti Nick Cage. I think he has a punchable face. Not that I would ever do it. I'm sure he's a splendid guy. I don't know. I love the idea of a John Madden biopic. I don't love the idea of Nick Cage being John Madden. I don't think he's going to play that role well. Call me a doubter, call me a non-believer. I love the idea of the movie. I hate the idea of the actor playing him. So, I'm judgmental. But a John Madden biopic coming out. I did learn that, which I am excited. I will watch it. And I will certainly be a big critic if Nick Cage's performance is underwhelming. But anyway, all right. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy preseason. Enjoy Brewers Guardians over the weekend at AmFam Field. I'm going tonight. Looking forward to that. I am, what am I? I've been to 6 Brewers games. I believe I am 2-4 on the year. So hopefully I can get closer back to 500 in my 7th game tonight.
If your record keeps going south, you can avoid a playoff game. Please say yes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Good.
I'm in this for the greater good, Hunter. Right? Like I'm not a selfish guy. I'm a good fan, good teammate, very selfless. Some would argue.
Clearly
Joshy,
very
anything else
humble.
to add? Yeah, very humble. Joshy, anything to add?
Try and be better on Monday.
We'll talk to you beginning at 12:30 then. It's Mr. Irrelevant. I'm Alex Strouf. Have a great weekend. Peace. All-timer. And I don't know that it was in a good way. It was